Obviously, all eyes on your part of the world for 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. What's the mood at the moment? Because I'm told quite a lot of Israelis don't want these partial hostage deals to be done. Obviously, some will want their children back.
So among the people that I've spoken to, I'd say it's pretty firmly in favour of the deal. Now, in the Israeli government, you have various sections, various wings are represented. The more right-wing elements of the Israeli government, like the National Security Minister, Itamar Ben-Gvir, or the Finance Minister Smotrich, have said that they are opposed to this deal, yet they haven't quit the cabinet over it, and the government seems to be surviving. I mean, I have to say, I have spoken to a number of families of hostages. I've spoken to a number of people who are in the Bring Them Home Now movement, and they're all pretty clearly in favour of bringing these hostages back. Now, I know that there were some concerns that Israel might be releasing a really, really large number of Palestinian prisoners, particularly dangerous Palestinian prisoners. People are remembering back to the Shalit deal of over 10 years ago now, where Israel got one soldier in exchange for about 1,000 Palestinian, prisoners. Yeah. One of those prisoners who then went on to mastermind the October 7th attacks. So I can understand why some people would have reservations about that. However, the 150 or so Palestinian prisoners who are being released this time are mainly, as we've said, minors who are, they're not the kind of people who are the sort of hardened criminals that have been released in the past.
Right. And who draws up these lists as far as who gets released from the Hamas side and who Israel releases back into Gaza?
So that's drawn up by the military and political leaderships on both sides. Of course, both sides communicate mainly via mediators in Qatar over who they'll allow out and who they won't. It seems like the deal this time has been mostly focused on children, the lowest risk prisoners, the Palestinian prisoners who can be released, and the prisoners who are also going to bring the most, PR benefit effectively for the Palestinian, the Hamas side to release is the children in captivity. Now, the trickier bit will be if we get on to further hostage deals. Those hostage deals will have to involve some Israeli soldiers that have been taken prisoner in these attacks, and they might have to be swapped once again for actual, Palestinian militants who the Israelis have in their jails. Now, I suspect that could be a more controversial deal. However, among the people I've spoken to, again, there seems to be broad sentiment in favour. And I should say that a last-minute legal challenge brought against this was rejected by the Israeli Supreme Court just before we went on air.
And as far as a kind of incursion and a withdrawal is concerned, I mean, during this 4-day period of calm, whatever you want to call it, it's not really being called a ceasefire, it's being called a pause, isn't it? I mean, does it mean that the IDF will pull out of Gaza altogether? Will they leave some people behind? How will that work?
I mean, I very much doubt we're going to see the IDF actually pulling their soldiers out of Gaza. They've done some fairly intense urban fighting to take up favourable frontline positions in Gaza City itself. They have no reason to leave those as of now. Apparently what it will mean is it will mean a halt to further ground attacks from the front line. It will also mean an end to aerial bombardments of the Gaza Strip as a whole, but it definitely won't mean a pullback of the Israeli war machine, which, according to soldiers I've spoken to, has made pretty rapid and steady progress.
Yeah, absolutely right.